Hi, I'm Christina, and this is New Ways Podcast. Today, my guest is a bodybuilder, a coach, and a podcaster. Baidi Farl, thank you for being here with me.
You forgot OnlyFans model.
Ooh, are you really? Can we link it down below? You sure?
I do mostly foot stuff. So
Okay.
if you're into that kind of stuff, foot stuff, nice aesthetic foot,
What size shoe are you?
size 15. Size 15.
All right. How much money are you making off that? I bet it.
Right now, the first month we hit 20K.
Oh, shit.
First month, so I'm looking to double that for.
So
next
any
month.
pointers for somebody who wants to become,
Oh, wow.
what is it, Feet Finder? Is that what we're looking at now?
Just be authentic. No, some people Photoshop their feet, stuff like that. Be authentic. You know what I'm saying?
Authentic?
Just post it as is.
Are
you
your
know?
toes painted? Does that help?
Sometimes they'll ask for favor. They're like they want to see pink, they want to see blue, and I'll go ahead and give them what they want.
Okay, but you got to charge extra for the specifics.
Oh, we gotta charge extra. You gotta charge extra.
Why do I feel like you actually have to do this now? Unless you're serious, which I would be actually kind of maybe pleasantly surprised.
You'll be surprised how many people have OnlyFans without their face. I have friends who have OnlyFans. Mm-hmm.
Tell me why. I had this conversation with this guy over here in the corner this week, and I'm like, I wish sometimes I didn't have like my own personal morals in a way. I'm like, I feel like I would make bank. No hate to anyone who does it, by all means. Something in me is just like, eh.
You can make a lot of money without morals. Not that people with OnlyFans don't have morals.
Well, that's what I mean. I'm like, to each their own, by all
Yeah.
means. Like, I have some friends who make a fuck ton of money off of OnlyFans.
Mm-hmm.
And good for them. Honestly, good for them. It's just something where it just doesn't resonate with my heart and my soul.
Some things like even I remember during the pandemic, right? I don't know if you can say the word on social media.
Pandemic?
Yeah.
Why can't you say
the actual word?
Pandemic?
Like what the pandemic was. They were like banning the word at one
What
point.
word? Say it.
COVID. You couldn't say COVID.
You can say COVID on a... Yeah, you can.
No, on YouTube, they were striking videos at one point. They were taking down videos. I don't know if that's a thing anymore.
Really? Why?
I don't know. Just social media stuff. But anyways, during the pandemic, I saw a commercial about some documentary about OnlyFans. And then they show one of my friends on. I'm like, what? I won't say his name, but they show him saying his name. I'm like, what? And they said he was making like $100,000 in a couple months. And I texted him, I'm like, you make that much money? Like, what do you do? And he was like, yo, the same stuff I post on Instagram for the most part. And I'm like, so like shirtless or risky stuff, like at the pool? And he's like, yeah. I'm like, I could do that.
I have pictures of me in a bikini on my Instagram all over the fucking place.
That's what I'm saying.
Really?
And I was like, I could do
Did we
that.
just come up with another endeavor right now?
Well, I think now that was early stages. I think it's more saturated now. I think nowadays you're gonna have to show some crevices. You're
You're gonna have to show the goods. You're gonna have to make some
Crevasses.
movies.
Yeah, you gotta go the extra mile. But at the time, he was doing that, and for some reason, I couldn't get myself to do that. I'm like, it's on Instagram. Why can't I just do it? But just the idea of it, my brain just couldn't do it.
Oddly enough, so I was thinking about this today out of all days too. I don't know why, but I'm like, is it an emotional block? Is it something like, why? I'm okay with other people doing it by all means. I have the utmost respect for some of my friends who do. Why is it something within certain people that can't? I'm like, is it because it just doesn't align with like who we are as people, or is it something that we've been programmed in from a young age that we think that like showing ourselves and making money off of being us is bad?
I think it's a little bit of both, because some people are raised like, let's say, super religious, and they become porn stars, right? So how come it doesn't happen to them, right? Whereas
It could be a urge to rebel thing, though.
it could be. I was raised not super religious, but pretty religious. I'm not very religious these days, but I don't feel like I follow too much of what I grew up on. But there's still things that I just can't get myself to do.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes I wish I could, because I'm like, it seems like fun, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Or just like when I say I'm dating, right? And I have opportunities that seem good, but I'm like, that's a bit much for me. I don't know if I could do that. Right?
Like what? Can you name some? Why not? Are we getting a little too graphic here? Is that where you were going?
Okay, let's say on a lighter note, even well, okay, just the things that seem fun, and let's say like dating wise, right? Let's say I'm into more of a reserved girl, let's say, right, and then the opposite are the girls that are usually into me, right?
Okay.
And sometimes let me hang out with her or whatever, and then sometimes it just I kind of turns me off. I'm like
when they're too conservative.
No, when in the opposite.
Okay.
When they're like
too out there, too showing too much, too like everything in a way.
Yeah. And I wish I wasn't like that because I'm single, and I'm like I should be enjoying everything, right? But
I think a lot of it, for me at least, like I don't know if you know this, but I'm pretty spiritual.
Okay.
So for me at least, it's like an energy thing. I feel like you can kind of like your subconscious knows when somebody might be like showing more skin or acting a little bit more out of pocket for somebody else's validation versus like that's just them.
I know exactly what you mean.
You know what I mean? Because like we kind of driving here. We're in LA, right? Like people have so many opportunities to manipulate their image at their fingertips. It's like, but are they doing it because they genuinely like feel better doing it or because they're hiding behind it? I feel like you could tell the difference. Yeah, somebody who has like a boob job and holds themselves well and they're like, just a free bird. And somebody who's like obviously in their shell.
This is true.
Yeah, it's different.
But let's say if I'm dating, right? Just dating loosely with no intent, right? A girl shouldn't have to be wifey material for me to date her or hang out with her because, right?
Yeah.
If that's not my intent, but I seem to only be able to even just talk to even loosely somebody who's wifey material. You know, I can't seem to just talk to a girl that's just like kind of, you know, like.
Is that what you want though? Do you want to have like a long-term relationship?
Yes, but meanwhile, I feel like I should be able to enjoy myself meanwhile without feeling kind of like, you know. I don't know.
No, I agree with you because I've been the same way for so long. I feel like I'm kind of getting out of the whole like, once again, I do think it's your subconscious. I think it's like when you know who you are, anything that's not like what you want, you kind of just like, it's not for me.
Yeah.
I feel like not being able to like have fun necessarily all the time is a good thing because I do know some people who only like to have fun and it leads them down like a toxic circle.
100%. Or like, so we're in, I live in West Hollywood, right? So a lot of people are into polyamory, right?
Yeah. Oh my God.
And
yes.
So in my head, I'm like, okay, what's wrong with that, right? I'm single. Let me give it a try, and then I can't do it.
There's like catch feelings, or why?
There's like a block in my head. I can't even go on a date. It might be like a one-time hangout, and I can't do it again. Like we haven't advanced anywhere, but there's like a block in my head. Like I can't do this, and I'm like, why can't I? I can, but then I just like I'll pick up my phone, see the text, and just no.
Do you think maybe just because like that's just not for you? Maybe you're at a stage in your life, and who knows in the future, maybe you might learn to have fun. But right now, it's just like
that's exactly what it is. But I almost don't want it to be, because I feel like that should be fun. But then I don't allow myself to go down that route for some reason. You know, I wish I could. I feel like it probably would be fun. I don't know, but maybe not. You know, maybe the block is that it wouldn't be fun for me. You know. But who knows? You don't know till you try. But I have a hard time even trying. You know?
I feel like also too, maybe it could be your block is that you're so fixated on it working, and that being for you is that like you're actually repelling it. Something that you fixate on a lot is something that like you create resistance in anyways. Yeah. So the fact that you're like, why can't I do this? Why can't I do this? When you're just like, okay, maybe it's not me. Who knows? Maybe somebody's gonna come around that's fun and only wants fun. You're like, oh, maybe it'll work. I feel like oftentimes when we overthink situations and we want something so badly, we don't get it. We actually repel it. It's when you finally let go of that attachment to having something where you're like, oh, this actually can kind of work out.
This is very true, yeah. I think most people, like, let's say from personal experience, the most successful relationship I had, I wasn't looking for a relationship.
Exactly.
And neither was she. And we were clear about that, right? And then it worked out, and then we were together for 8 years, which is a very long time, right?
Yeah, that is a very long time.
And at the time, I couldn't say I even believed in relationships. I felt like people, at the time of my life, I felt like it was something people, because all I would see is people arguing. I'm like, why did everybody say they want to be in a relationship and then everybody's cheating and arguing? So I'm like, it seems silly. So I'm like, that's not real. That's just people just don't want to be lonely. And I'm like, I'm not lonely, So I'm like, I don't feel lonely. I enjoy company, and then that's it. And then I met somebody, and then I felt a little different, and I was like, oh, maybe there's more to it, But we weren't looking, and then it worked seamlessly.
Definitely. On that too, though, I also know a few people who are poly, and it's funny now. I've known them for years, and it's interesting watching their life progress, because when I first met them, they're like, I'm poly, I'm a free spirit. Like, but in reality, though, they were just hiding behind kind of like the less intimate relationships, where I do believe there can be poly where you do have like a lot of really deep relationships, but they were just using it as an excuse to kind of fuck around and avoid their own like emotional detachment from being attached to somebody.
100%.
And now that they're like in a better place, they're like, oh no, like polyamory, no. Monogamy, there we go. Monogamy's for me. And I'm like, see, like you don't have to be one way your entire life. A lot of times, like if you are that way and you cling so tightly to it, you're hiding behind something.
100%.
But okay, so you were in a relationship for 8 years. Mm-hmm. And then how'd that go? You're not anymore, but explain that to me. 8 years is a long time. Do you say it was a healthy relationship?
Oh yeah. I mean, definitely the healthiest relationship I've ever been in. But I was 23 when I got into the relationship, right? Mm-hmm. So at 23, I'm from the Bronx, New York, right?
Okay.
So in Bronx, New York, where I was at 23, was far ahead of everybody my age from the Bronx. So in my head, my perspective was like, I'm the guy that's ahead of his years, right? Oh, this guy, he's gonna be somebody, right?
What made you consider yourself ahead of your years, though?
Just because a lot of people where I'm from, well, they a lot of times by the time they're that age, they're closer to being in jail or dead, right?
For sure. So you're from a rough area, the Bronx.
Yeah.
I've never been to the Bronx, but I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know. I'm from Chicago, and I know those areas where I'm like, ooh, you from Inglewood? Like, yeah. I feel you. Yeah.
So anybody who's making a decent living legally, you're doing pretty good, right? So you're probably not going to be dead or in jail. And you're kind of doing things, right? They see, well, I saw you on this video. Or, people think social media means like you're doing well. It doesn't always mean that. But
yeah, for
people
sure.
think if people follow you, that means you're like doing well, which we know is not true.
So you had a following?
For somebody in the Bronx, they thought it was a big following.
Okay, how'd you get a following?
Just from bodybuilding, just from competing and training people. So anyway, but back to the so I felt like I was like mature, like I was a grown man, right? You're 23, right? You look like a grown man, so you must be a grown man. So, but obviously in hindsight, I had no idea who I was. I had no idea where I was going. I had no idea what it meant to be a man. I didn't know anything, but I thought I did. Mm-hmm. So I meet a girl, I go into a relationship. As far as I'm concerned, we doing grown people stuff, right? But I wasn't grown. So there was a lot of emotional maturity and just maturity in general that I just hadn't went through, right? So in my family, it wasn't something that was taught. My dad wasn't in my life, but he wasn't completely out of my life.
Okay.
Kind of like, I don't know, let's say from 1 through 10, 10 being perfection and 1 being a deadbeat. He's like a 4. Yeah?
Okay.
But like I said, where I'm from, a 4 is like an 8. If you even know your dad, that's already like a 5.
Yeah.
So, I don't think he was. I don't think he's a bad dad.
I think people do the best that they can with like the emotional knowledge that they possess.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But that's why I feel that way about him now, because I'm basically him 30 years later. So I see how he made some of the mistakes he made, because I kind of made some of the mistakes too, right? So it becomes more clear when you're in a position of they don't have the tools. Like we think like parents are just supposed to know stuff. They're learning too, right? And he came from a different country, so he even had more to learn. So back to the relationship.
I love this though, because our parents are literally just people. And maybe there's parents that are 10s out there. Who the fuck knows? But I don't know anybody yet who's like, my parent was amazing. They did absolutely everything perfectly all the time. Well, like,
how could you even expect that? Like, we're not 10s. Like, if we just
speak for yourself over here. I'm kidding.
Well, if we both just boom, baby, do we think we're gonna just be 10 out of 10 parents? We might, even if we think it, you think they're gonna think that?
No.
We might say, we're 10s, and our kids are like, no, you're not.
Yeah.
Because you can try everything perfectly, but you can't cover all it's impossible.
Yeah, and you also don't know what that other person's experiencing either, because to you can be doing absolutely everything right, but everybody has their own different opinions on what's good for them.
100%.
So you can do by the book everything right, and this other person is like, that's not what I needed though.
Exactly. You try to show them, you try to guide them to make sure they make the right choices. They're like, oh, you're overbearing, it's too much. You try to pull off, oh, you're dead, so you can't be perfect, right?
Yeah.
So, but yeah, anyway, I just didn't have the tools. Nobody taught me the tools. But the thing about being clueless is you don't know what you don't know. So
Facts.
From your perspective, you're ahead of the curve. I'm better than my friends. Well, not like that.
I get what you're saying though. You're like, I think I got this shit together.
I'm doing better stuff with my life than people I grew up with. So I'm doing okay, right? And then I moved to LA, and then I'm learning as I go. I didn't have any money saved. I don't know anything. So I moved here, and I'm learning as I go. And I felt like I just okay. So in at the time, I thought I was the best boyfriend in the world. I would have told you I'm the best boyfriend there is. I buy her some Jordans. I take her out. Wow, this is great, right?
Yeah.
But I wasn't available in a lot of ways. So let's say emotionally, right? I didn't get any affection as a kid growing up. So I'm unaware that's even a thing, right? So how would you know? How would you know?
Yeah.
So it's like, like, oh, how come you don't hug me when you come inside I have to hug you for you to know we literally live together. How would you not know I love you, right? So things that I understand now, but at the time I didn't get. So now I kind of, first, after she broke up with me, right? After the breakup, I thought I was I was like, damn, I'm just like a horrible person. I don't feel that way now, but because now I understand I just didn't have the tools.
Yeah.
But when it first happened, I was hard on myself in a way that I'm like, I can't believe I was that shitty of a person. But you can't look at it that way. But it's like a child. Like if a child doesn't know better, they'll take some blame, but you can't be that hard on a child. You'll be like, hey, don't do that again. But how hard can you be on a child?
You can't though, because they didn't know better. And adults essentially, like, until I always say, I'm like, you didn't know better, so you can't do better. But once you do know better, it is then your job to do better. And that's when you can be hard on yourself, and people can be like, okay, but you've been through this and you knew, stop repeating the same cycle. Exactly. But until you've actually experienced it, who the fuck actually knows?
You don't know, And she was older than me by 5 years, right? I feel like I should.
5 years?
I feel like I should know this.
I mean, that's a pretty decent age gap too for you being so young at the same time.
Yes.
Like 23 to what is that? Like 28, right?
Exactly.
That's a decent age gap. I am definitely two different people when I was 28 and 23.
100%.
Yeah.
So she had already made mistakes in the past, and she would tell me, yeah, one time I was dating this guy, and then I liked this other guy, and I dumped him, and just story that you just don't understand life, and you just make stupid mistakes. So she already made mistakes, and she learned. So she knows this is what she wants, whatever. Whereas I hadn't learned any of the lessons, so I was learning. And unfortunately, she was the one that was like the learning curve for me, which sucks because I feel like I kind of wasted 8 years of her life, which is not a waste.
I don't think anything's ever a waste. Like, even though you might not see it, you haven't lived her life, walked in her shoes. Like, I do feel like everything does come in your life for a reason. And as if it wasn't meant to stay, it was at least there to teach you something.
This is true.
So chances are, like, she either experienced, hopefully in those years, some type of love, as well as like some growth there as well. You know what I mean? Yeah. Every time you find out what you don't want, you find out more kind of what you do want also.
This is true. Yeah, this is true. So, but anyways, there's a learning curve there. So I felt like I could have done a much better job. And even when she broke up with me, in hindsight, see, the way I see it, I feel like women are calculated, right? I feel like if a girl breaks up with you, she's already thought of every scenario. She's not going to just wake up one day and break up. They do say that, yeah. They do say we've broken up with you in our head like 5 times before we actually walk away. And I can vouch for that. That was definitely me, yeah. Unless you're in one of those relationships where you guys break up every weekend. That doesn't count. But I know she's not the kind of person that she's not gonna blow up and get mad and say something she doesn't mean. She's a very calm, calculated person. So for her to say it, I feel like she already went through everything. So when she broke up with me, in my head, I wasn't thinking about let me try to get her back. I was thinking about, oh no, she really means it. So I kind of just shut down. But in hindsight, I feel like she wanted me to fight for her.
Okay.
But like I said, I don't know relationships like that, you know. And I thought I knew women, but I didn't understand women the way I do now. So I didn't understand. You break up with somebody and you want him to fight for you. That's not, because if I break up with a girl, I don't want her to fight for me. I don't want to be with her.
I don't think anybody like, and once again too, we're all programmed differently. Obviously, if you in the relationship she felt like you didn't care or didn't put an effort, then yeah, maybe they were hoping like if I walk away, you would come back to me. That's definitely, I think at the same time, I do think that's a form of manipulation in a way too. And if I was walking away from somebody, I would express to you, hey, this is what I want. And if you can't give it to me, I am walking away. Once I'm gone, I would hope that I'm just like gone. I don't believe in like falling in love with a different version of somebody than they are.
That's kind of how I felt. So I didn't feel like that was something I needed to like, what was the word I just used? To try to win her back.
Yeah.
I felt like it was just over. So I just shut down and I just was really sad. Yeah, that was about it. But I just felt my sadness and I didn't want her to see it. So I just hid and I would just cry by myself and stuff like that. You know,
as most men do, I've realized.
Yeah. See, I think you probably don't think this because you probably have, but a lot of women think that men aren't as emotional as women. I would argue some men are more emotional than
I was going to say, I definitely don't believe that, especially too, oddly enough, through my clients, I can't tell you how many men have told me they're just like, I honestly men don't feel like they can break down in front of like other people. They don't feel like they can express their emotion. So if anything, the fact that you guys feel like you have to bottle it up to me would make you 10 times more emotional because you're still holding all that shit.
Yeah. And then we process, you guys process it in real time. So when it comes to like emotional intelligence, not all women, but generally more women usually have more emotional intelligence as far as processing their feelings, right? So a guy and a girl break up, the guy starts dating first, and everybody's like, you see, he's over her. No, it's the complete opposite. He hasn't even processed it. He doesn't even know how he feels about it. So I started dating before her because I hadn't even processed my feelings yet. It took me like a year and a half to even get to processing it. Whereas I feel like she processed it real time, and then when she moved on, she really moved on. Whereas I hadn't even started probably. When I was dating, I hadn't processed any of that, you know, and that's probably why dating didn't work because I didn't even, you know. Yeah. So men are just as emotional. And it's like, why don't we want other people to see it? First of all, sometimes it doesn't work. You can't show your emotion to everybody.
Oh, facts. But even women can't show their emotions to other people.
Yeah, I think
it's more socially acceptable for sure, but like there's still definitely I feel like in any case you should be a little bit careful about who you choose to share like your deep emotions with. You want somebody who's definitely at least going to like listen and acknowledge versus trying to fix, because that can add a whole nother thing, or somebody who's just going to judge you. Exactly. Yeah, I think it's on a case by case basis for sure.
Well, we're also not good at, let's say, multitasking. A woman can be like going through the worst shit in her life and still going to work and taking care of kids and still crying, right?
Yeah.
Whereas for us, we have to completely shut that down to be able to function. Like I can't function like miserable and just getting stuff done. I have to completely block that part of my brain in order to get it. So once I block it, I'm not processing it. Whereas you guys could go home, process it, go to work. I've seen women cry while I'm training them. I'm like, are you okay? Yeah, it was just work.
I don't think that's healthy either, though.
It's healthier though because you're getting through the feeling. You probably shouldn't cry mid-workout, but you're getting through the thing. Whereas we don't get through it, so we just hold it, and it turns into. This is why like men kill themselves and shit, because you're not getting to the root. You're just hiding it. And okay, you hide this. Now someone else will hide that. You can only hide so much before you just blow up.
Yeah, for sure.
You completely blow up. And then a lot of guys have mental issues. It doesn't come from nothing. A lot of it comes from stress and
for sure.
So we just bottle it. And I feel like for me, I have to bottle it to even function. I don't function well when I'm emotional or sad.
But has bottling it been good for you?
Terrible. No,
Okay,
terrible,
so now that you've realized bottling is bad for you, what do you do? How did you get to this other side where you're like, wow, I should not have done that?
Well, I still haven't mastered that, because it's not that simple. It's like, hey, do you know you walk kind of hunchback? Oh yeah, and then tomorrow you just walk perfectly fine.
Yeah, for sure.
It takes time to do that. So I think I'm better. Further, me even talking about this, I think is growth.
For sure, it is. Yeah.
In the past, I didn't even like talking about emotions, let alone, I didn't want to feel anything, because I feel like it makes me vulnerable, but who cares, You kind of get over it. Even imagine being in a relationship and you don't want your girlfriend, the person you're most intimate with, know when you're sad, know when you're stressed, know when you're depressed, or see you cry.
Did you feel like that's how your relationship kind of was? Do you feel like since you were so young, you were bottling it up?
Oh, of course. Oh, but yeah, I mean, I would never let her see me cry. And anytime she saw a little bit, I'll get so embarrassed. She doesn't care.
I was gonna say, isn't that crazy though? How like in your head you're like, I can't let her see this, but in reality, if you kind of showed it to her, she would probably that would make your connection deeper. Actually,
I feel
isn't
like
that funny?
She wanted to see it.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
I'm like, you were saying, oh my gosh, I can't do this because she's gonna judge me. This isn't how men are supposed to act. But if you did that, it would have brought you closer versus putting you guys apart.
I think so. Obviously, there's spectrums. You can't, if you're crying 24/7. That goes for anybody, men or women. The other person's gonna be, oh come on,
for sure.
They're the balance, but but it's okay to show. No woman is gonna be like, oh my God, my man just cried. Oh my, I'm so turned off. That's not.
I would be like, what's going on? Talk to me for sure.
But there's definitely a block there. Socially, it's a thing, but also social constructs come from real things. Like we're actually that way. With no social pressure. Naturally, we're gonna try to bottle it up. Maybe not as much, but Do
you think we've taken it to an extreme though?
How so?
In a way where because that's a societal standard, kind of like men are supposed to be tough. They're not necessarily supposed to show their emotion, even though I feel like it's actually a very, very brave and tough thing to show emotion now. Do you think that we took it too far in the sense of these standards of how you're supposed to act, and that's why a lot of people now feel suffocated by their emotions, or men feel like they can't open up and talk about things, or they're worried they're going to be judged if they do cry, for instance, when they talk about these things.
This is the thing about social constructs, though, is who's we.
I agree with that. I make up the rules as I go. I'm like, I live in my own little world. But
so when it comes to that, we do it to ourselves. No woman is making men feel like, well, I can't say that.
I think
some women do, but generally, I'm not this way because necessarily women or society, men, we put that pressure on ourselves.
I think society does kind of tell you though that also, even from the young age, there's just these standards of stereotypical men and women jobs. And I do believe complementary opposites. I definitely believe in men being men and women being women. But also too, I don't know, because you said your dad was absent, but I do know a lot of fathers who have told their sons suck it up. Where if their daughter was crying, they'd be like, oh my gosh, baby girl,
That's the thing, but I got to be honest with you. At least when it comes to men, I can only speak for men. It's not as much as you think.
No?
We do it to ourselves. 100%.
If you do it to yourselves, then why do I hear men complaining that they don't know how to get out of it, or that they've put this barrier on themselves then?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We don't know how to get out of it because we've been doing that to ourselves. Does that make sense?
But yeah, it does. But I'm just trying to get to the root of why.
Some things are nature. There are instincts. Like somebody breaks into the door with a gun right here. I'm gonna try to protect you. Nobody told me to do that. You think I don't want to die, but it's just my instinct.
Okay.
Some things are instinctual. Everybody doesn't have the same instincts, but it's there for a reason. Regardless if I ever watched TV or ever heard it, I could be deaf, I would still do it. Mm-hmm. But that's what my body does. I don't even think about it. It's not like, well, let me do the manly thing.
Yeah.
It's just how I would respond. My dad didn't teach me that. My mom didn't teach me that.
I
didn't learn that from
movies.
So some things are instinct. I will tell you that, but a lot of things are social. I think more so navigating maybe relationships and things like that can be more social, but a lot of things are just innately sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes
because they kind of had to be that way. To think about it, like, okay, I have a Borbell. They've been bred to be a guard dog for 100 years, right? Hundreds of years.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody knocks on the door, he barks.
For sure.
Stop. Correct him. He's gonna keep doing it. It's not be. It's not be. I'm teaching him not to do it, but it's in his genetics for hundreds of years. Now he's getting better, so we can get better, but it's still an instinct.
Yeah.
You know, so generations, it's not that easy to turn it off.
That's what I was gonna say though. I do get it's not that easy to turn off
But
for
it can
sure.
be, yeah.
But that's what I like. Do you think there is hope in the future, or at least for yourself? Have you noticed change in allowing? And if so, how have you done that then? How have you finally been like, this isn't good for me. I don't have to be this way, even though I'm programmed to be this way. How can I adapt now to be more vulnerable? Because I don't, you know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. It takes like your ego kind of being smashed down a little bit
Okay.
to realize that you're not that important. You know, I mean, yeah, like you're not.
How'd you smash your ego then?
Oh, I didn't smash your life. Life will do it to you.
Okay, tell me, how'd life do it to you?
Well, there's quite a few experiences.
Tell me one. I honestly like, this is what I love about these conversations though, is like all of my biggest blessings and the most humbling experiences have came from like something really shitty happening to me that I thought was gonna fucking kill me.
Yeah.
And on the other side, I'm like, damn. And it ends up for some really good entertainment too. So please share.
So, okay, like one of my first ego shattering experiences, I was probably like 20, 21. So believe it or not, I had never lost a fight in my life until I was this age.
I mean, I can believe it to be really you never losing a fight. No.
And then I was bouncing. I started bouncing when I was like maybe 18 or 19.
Okay.
And there was a guy. He was trying to get in the club. We didn't let him in for whatever reason. And he kept saying, "I'm a Golden Gloves champion. Holla at me. I'm a Golden." I'm like, okay. You box me or whatever. And then some kind of fight breaks out. And then we get into it. And he wasn't lying. He was the Golden Gloves champion. And
did you think he was lying?
You can't tell. People just talk. Can we curse on the podcast?
Yeah, of course. I've been saying fuck for like the past 30 minutes? Yes, you can swear.
But yeah, people just talk shit. So he landed probably 10 punches before I even seen it coming. But he was a smaller guy, so I mean it doesn't hurt. It doesn't take me down. But I'm like, this guy can actually fight. And I got him down, but the damage is done, so my face is all swollen up, you know. The bottle girl and stuff. Oh my God, you okay? I'm okay. Leave me alone. I'm okay. You don't want them to see you like that because you always win every fight, you know. And then that brought my ego down. I'm like, so there's people that can beat me up technically, you know. Okay. But that's more of like an immature level of ego. But probably the biggest ego shattering moment was in 2019. So I had bronchitis as a kid, and I have asthma, so I have respiratory issues.
Okay.
I don't have the best lungs or respiratory system. So if you hear me, if I'm breathing hard on the mic, I'm sorry. But I had a case of pneumonia, so I was getting ready for competition. When you're very lean, your immune system isn't necessarily right because you're limiting calories, fat. So your body, when you see people super shredded, they're not the healthiest, right? Because you need body fat to be healthy. So I ended up getting pneumonia. And this is right before COVID. So there's a chance it could have been COVID. I don't know. But it was pneumonia. So I was getting tired and I couldn't breathe. And then one day I woke up and my ex was like, "You okay?" And I'm like, "Yeah, you okay?" She was like, "I've been trying to wake you up for like 10 minutes. Like, 10 minutes? What? And then that day I kept throwing up water, just water. And I'm like, okay, something's not right. So I go to urgent care and I go, they see, okay, Mr. Farrell, okay, yeah. And they take the stethoscope, that's what you call it?
Yeah, stethoscope.
And the nurse like this, how's your day going?
Whenever a nurse makes that face, you're like, uh-oh.
Everything okay? She didn't say anything. She gets up, goes to a different room. Like, okay. And the doctor comes out with a stethoscope. He's like, huh? She said, yeah. He puts the thing. He's like, call an ambulance. I'm like, I'm in urgent care. How you gonna call the ambulance?
Damn, because the ambulance will get you in if you will. Like they said, they'd go to an ED. You'd be waiting in that ED for a long time. Ambulance will take you right in and seen.
So they had to take me to the bigger hospital, but apparently what they heard is like my lungs were completely full of fluid, and my heartbeat was super faint. So they were like surprised I was awake, right? Mm-hmm. And then when they checked I don't remember what oxygen was, but it was, let's say,
low, probably below 90%. Yeah.
Yeah. But sometimes like a lot of old men, they say, what don't hurt you. And I know what they mean, because I knew I didn't feel great, but I'm just lean. That's all it is. But now that I'm aware of all of this, they take the, what's those masks they was putting on everybody?
There's a lot of different kind, but they have like BiPAPs are the ones that are like really tight on your face and they push in pressure. They have like non-breathers, the pressure one.
It's horrible.
It's horrible. People actually like freak out being on them because it's so tight on your face, and it's literally forcing your lungs to expand because they can't do it on their own.
So I know why they did it, because my oxygen is so low.
That shit is scary.
But once they put it on me, I passed out because now it was harder for me to breathe, which technically, if they didn't do it, I would have passed out anyways eventually, or I would have died. I don't know. So they did that, and then I passed out, and I woke up a week later.
Okay.
So they had to keep me under because I wouldn't be able to breathe on my own, or I wouldn't be able to get any oxygen.
They didn't intubate you, did they?
They did, yeah.
So you had a tube down your throat?
Yeah. I had a catheter the whole time.
Stop.
I was in the coma for.
That's really bad.
That's very bad. It's very bad.
That's really bad pneumonia. Yeah.
I mean, if I would have went earlier, they kind of just gave me Lasix antibiotics, and I could have been on my way. Mm-hmm. And it was beyond that point. At that point, all my organs were already shutting down. So I was in heart failure, kidney failure. They had to put me on dialysis. Was he talking to you? You would know what all this means.
You would, hold on. You were on dialysis. I'm like, you were on dialysis?
All my organs were failed.
And now you're still, what? I'm like, and now you're like, you look pretty fit to me and healthy. That's why I'm like, holy shit.
No, everything went back to normal maybe a couple months after that, because it was acute. It was caused from pneumonia.
Yeah, but still, dialysis is intense too.
It is. Yeah. But granted, like they don't know me. So while they're doing this, they don't know what's wrong with me. They just like, oh, this guy is gonna die. So that's what they kept telling my family, right? Because they're not aware if this is acute or not. All they know is that his body is everything
shutting
is failing,
down, yeah.
So he's going to die, and that's what they told everybody, which is not what family wants to hear. But you have to tell them that, But everything starts once I'm on dialysis and they get rid of the fluid, and my heart can beat in peace. Everything goes. And I was young, I was like 25, maybe like 27. Or 2019? How old would I be? I'm 33.
Oh, I have no idea. 2019?
6 years ago?
That was 6 years ago, yeah.
7?
That's still young, though, especially because it seems like you moderately take care of yourself. I don't know back then, but I don't know. It's surprising to me, too, that the doctors are like, he's going to die.
Because they're just going by what they look at.
I know, but now I feel like, at least in the hospital, they aid on like the more hopeful side, especially with the young guy. When they're younger, we're kind of like, you got more life to live. We're not giving up yet, thankfully.
Yeah. I was in prep, so I look kind of bummy. I honestly think, I think they were assuming that I lived a really fucked up lifestyle.
Okay, yeah.
So, because after I woke up, because they asked me a lot of times, like, yo, like, do you do crack?
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm not a crack. I know I look like a crackhead right now, but trust me, it's just contest prep. I'm not a crackhead. So I think they thought I was just living a really bad lifestyle, which is, I'm sure they have a bunch of people that are young, that are on drugs, that come there with completely fucked up.
Well, usually when you're young and if you're in that bad of condition, it's kind of like, what the hell is going on? Yeah,
exactly.
It's usually not just like genetics. It's usually like you've actually had to like do something to your body to be there, especially at that young of an age.
And you usually don't come around that quick.
Yeah.
So I think it was a fair assumption.
So you said that was one of the more humbling moments in your life. What did you learn from that?
Well, after you wake up, if you haven't moved in 7 days,
of course,
you can't move. So I can't sit, I can't stand, I can't walk. So you have to learn all that again. Mm-hmm. I can't do anything. But you don't know this until you try to. And like, wait, am I paralyzed or something? No, you just got to learn how to use your body again. So you're sitting there, you have a catheter in your penis. And you can't go to the bathroom. So what does that mean? You got to go to the bathroom right there.
Yeah.
So you have nurses wipe your ass. You work in
I know. I'm a nurse. Yep. I know the whole spiel.
So you get the you get the the old guy like, yeah, I gotta wipe your eyes. Like, can I get somebody else? They bring the cute nurse. They're like, you know what? Bring the old guy back. Bring the old guy back. I take the old guy. You don't want the cute nurse wiping your ass, so you go with the old guy.
You'd be surprised, but good for you. Like, you would be surprised how many times I have to excuse myself from a room. But
yeah, I would rather take the old guy. I can't let the girls see me like this. But yeah, my ex was there for a long time. She helped wipe my ass at some point, I'm sure. But I was kind of out of it. So, but yeah, that's extremely humbling when you're always like the one helping other people.
Yeah.
You're the big strong guy, and then not so much now. You can't do anything. You can barely shower yourself.
Well, I was also meaning to ask you too, because like what you do in your daily life is pretty intense anyways. I remember hearing on a podcast, you said that bodybuilding, oftentimes you're pretty frequently in pain, and it's something you learn to accept. How has that phased your mental health? Because I know for me, I'm like, I do not function well if my body is hurting. I'm big on hot tubs. I'm big on cold plunges. I'm big on taking breaks. Do you feel like you allow yourself to take breaks when your body actually needs it?
Now I do, like recently in the last maybe 2-3 years.
Yeah.
But yeah, the 10 years, 12 years of bodybuilding, no, I was horrible at that. And I actually started placing worse on stage because I was overworking myself. And you don't, I know it's like the old school thing, work harder. No, you got to work smarter. You got to work.
For sure.
You have to work with your body. You can't work against your body. You can't win. You're not going to win that battle. You have to work with your body. If your body is telling you, hey, this isn't it, there's going to be you're going to be a little hungry. There's going to be discomfort. But if you're really completely starving, you can barely function. This is not good. You should be able to get ready for a bodybuilding show and feel pretty decent, besides a little bit of hunger here and there, And the last competition I did was by far my best look. Man, I didn't do any cardio. I was having cheat meals regularly. You just do what you need to do. You don't have to. Like, they have the thing, whoever suffers the most wins. That's bullshit.
I know.
I would be suffering the most, get like second call out, and then I'm talking to the winner. He's like, yeah, he's eating Snickers and having a good time. I'm like, something's not adding up here, So it's like, you have to give yourself that balance. It's not about, listen, the best basketball player in the world, I guarantee you he's not the hardest working basketball player in the world.
Well, then there's also like, I think what was it, Kobe Bryant, who, I think maybe him, who he was like, I was in the gym from 5 o'clock in the morning till like 10 o'clock at night. Like all my players, all my like teammates were out partying and I was always in the gym. Yeah. It's that mentality. But it's like, do you think, like, I do think it works for some people, but other people, I'm like, we're not meant to suffer.
I mean, yeah, well,
all the greats will always say, they're like, I've worked my ass off. But I'm like, you also gave yourself some rest days too, did you not?
Yeah, because people say that, but then you hear stories from their teammates like, oh yeah, he was partying and he was doing this. There's always another side. There's always a balance, but that's not the story that's sexy to tell.
Definitely. I think that you should definitely work hard. And if you're going after something, I do think that you should run after it full-fledged.
Yeah.
But at the same time, though, if it's detrimental to your physical health and your mental health, like, that's not sustainable. You're eventually going to break and you're not going to be the greatest when you're not doing it anymore.
No. You should only be working as hard as you can recover from physically and mentally. If I have a client and mentally I can tell they're done, I'm going to make some changes. Whereas some people be like, well, physically they can still perform. Keep pushing them harder. If you lose your mind, you will lose your body.
How can you tell the difference between somebody who might just have a weak mindset versus somebody who actually needs to take a break?
Well, if you're my client for any period of time, even like a month or two, I already know that about you.
Okay.
Okay, so before we even get to that point, I already know where you're at with that. I could tell just by, I mean, I've been doing this so long. It's pretty easy to tell. Like, when somebody's lying to you and you look and you're like, this story is a damn lie, but you won't say anything. You just listen.
Oh, I usually say things, but I'm usually like, really now? Can you elaborate? I have a big fucking mouth. Anyways, I'll be like, really?
See, I've always wanted to do that.
Unless I don't want to engage and I'm just like checked out, then I'm like, this ain't worth my time
You're
or my
like, okay,
energy. But
yeah,
most
sure.
of the time, if I'm sitting there and I know I'm sitting there, I'm like, let's make this fun. So, do you actually believe that? And then I'll give you, Anyways, but
Yeah, some people
I
do.
feel you. But you can tell when somebody's bullshitting.
Yeah, I usually know that about them pretty early on. So the people I know that they're not scared of working, if they tell me anything like, oh, I'm really feeling it, I take it really serious. I'm like, oh, for them to even tell me that, they must be really hurting, right? And but there's also people who complain a lot, but they still do the work. And I'm cool with that.
Yeah.
I'll listen to you complain, but as long as you still doing the work, I don't care. You know, I had a client recently compete, and toward the end, she was losing it mentally a bit, but but we only had 2 weeks to go,
Okay.
so I just backed off of training a little bit, like less days. But after the show, like she apologized. I'm so sorry. I'm like, you don't gotta. It doesn't like where
You still pushed through, right? Yeah.
exactly. She's actually my longest client. I've been training her for 8 years, so I know her. We're close enough that I'm not gonna get offended. If you have an attitude or you're arguing me, it doesn't offend me. She's still doing it, so you could argue all you want. You're still doing X. I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
let's argue, and we just argue, and she does it, and I'm not easily offended at all.
I kind of love that though. It's kind of like working with somebody with who they are versus trying to turn them into this like version. Because everybody wants the ideal client, the ideal person who's like positive all the time. They're like, I got this, I can do it. And they push, but that's not how it is. You can't expect people to change their body and their personality at the same time, nor should you have to. I'm a firm believer where when somebody shows you who they are, accept it and learn to work with it.
I want everybody to be themselves.
Yeah.
Even if you're a shitty person, work on being a better person. But you don't. I let everybody know you don't have to hide who you are in front of me. So, like when she's in the gym, the same client, like to strangers, hey, how you doing? How you feeling? And I see her put it on. Hey, I know she feels so shitty. She doesn't even want to smile. So when she's with me, like you don't have to put it on. You don't have to be polite. Anything you can be. And she did it. She was just like, okay, and it doesn't bother me because I want her to be. You know how hard it is to feel that tired and shitty, and then you have to put on for everybody?
Oh, for sure. It's
You know?
exhausting.
Yeah. So she told me, like, her boyfriend would get mad, like, how come you don't put on like this for I hope I'm not putting up this. I hope you don't watch this. But like
Not even that though. In reality, I'm like, if I was in a relationship with somebody else, I'm like, would you want me to put on a different face in front of you? Don't you want to know what the fuck you're getting?
Exactly.
Because it's not sustainable. There has to be a time when you turn it off. And if you're at home, that's where you spend most of your time, hopefully.
Exactly. So let me be the safe space, right? So you can unload. I won't take it personally. Unload it. And that happened. I actually dated a girl who was on prep. Cool, unload on me. I could take it. Is because I know this is not you. I know this is the version of you that's just at the brink. At the brink, you know. So I don't. Even if I do get a little offended, I'm just not gonna react, and I'll be over it by tomorrow. So I'll just be like, okay, this is your day. It's your moment. I was dating a girl actually, and then her show day, I was trying to make sure everything was perfect, and her attitude was so bad. I almost wanted to just leave. But I couldn't make it about me. It was about her. So and then after the show, I didn't talk to her for like a week. But I got over it.
See, I love this. And this is such a crazy world too. Cause I'm a firm believer where I'm like, let alone I'm not in this type of intense world. I do deal with some intense personalities and like, but in my personal life, I'm like, if I don't want to be around you, I'm gone. But I love how you can kind of just like swallow it and you're like, I know this isn't them. They're going through some things. Exactly. I'm going to shift really quick. I love that.
Yeah. Okay. You see, so from everything I know about you, you're a very sweet person, right? So if you're dieting and all of a sudden you get kind of like quiet and a little snarky,
yeah,
I would just imagine the version of you I already know. So I'd be like, okay, I know the real her already, and I know she's sweet.
Facts.
So I won't take this seriously or literally. And literally 2 days after the show, you're gonna be like, oh my God, I'm sorry. I'm like, no, don't worry about it, you know, because I understand it's just you at a very vulnerable moment. You'll be surprised how different you act when you're, you know, people like, I'm hungry.
Oh, you don't want to be around me when I'm hungry. I know that. Yeah.
But like levels to hunger, right? Like I'm hungry right now, right? That's a strong word to use. I could eat, but hunger is when you've been dieting for 16 weeks and you haven't smelled a piece of sugar or, you know, it's a different level of hunger and cravings that you're not yourself, you know. And
Yeah.
it's hard to explain it to somebody. Because I've explained to so many people, you can't fully understand it till you do it. Then you're like, oh wow, that makes so much sense. Then you kind of get it, you know.
Well, that's what I was going to ask you is how do you personally stay sane through those moments, or you even realize when like, hey, too much is too much. Like this is me pushing to myself way over the brink. I need to back up. Like for you personally, 'cause it's easy when you're looking at somebody else and you're like, oh, know this is not the real you, but I feel like the internal battle in your head is always a different one.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, for me personally, my gauge is once I can't function in normal everyday activities, I know I push too far. If I'm sitting and I'm like, I want to get up and use the bathroom, I'm like, I'm too tired.
Shut up.
That's a problem. So, you know, maybe your first time you might feel that way just because you've never been that lean. But I've been doing it this long enough. I should never feel like that at this point. I don't even put on fat I don't even get fat to begin with. So
I feel like that's very excessive if you cannot get up and use the restroom.
Oh,
I mean, I've had times where I work out and I get up and my legs hurt and I'm like wobbling, but you physically can't get up?
Oh man, I've left my phone at home and I couldn't get, like, I'm downstairs in the garage and I couldn't go upstairs to get it. Like the weirdest thing, like I stopped wearing socks. I stopped wearing boxers because I can't fathom putting on boxers.
Do you think that's healthy?
Oh no, it's
I mean, I
terrible.
get it's like a name of the game, maybe, but
I'm saying I don't get to that point now, and I actually look better on stage. So I don't get to that point now, but in the beginning, just experiencing being that lean, you don't know what it feels like, you know. So you have to feel it a couple times to understand what it feels like. Then you get better at it, and then you don't actually have to feel like that anymore. The first time I felt that, when I was actually really in shape for the first time, I asked my coach, I'm like, did you used to feel like this when you used to compete? He was like, yeah. I'm like, I don't believe you. I don't think anybody, because I have a high pain tolerance. I don't believe, I don't think anybody would do this for 10 years if they felt like this. I don't believe any of y'all. And some people have better metabolisms, you know, some people.
I also do think that eventually somebody might even just get used to the pain because your mental state is like very, very, it can manipulate your body actually. Like you should probably be in a lot of pain, but you're like, no, I'm good.
Yeah, that's kind of what happens after a while, but you also get better at doing it.
Yeah.
You get better at doing it, better at managing fatigue, the whole nine. But just being that lean is not healthy. But that's why we don't stay like that, you know? The guys at the gym sometimes like, wow, you should just stay like this. And it's like, how about you?
I'm gonna hate my life for a very long time.
Why? Or even actors, you see people get ready for a movie role and you're like, oh, why did he get fat? I'm like, bro, first of all, he's not fat.
I love how it seems like bodybuilding is such like a seasonal type of thing. It really like kind of mimics life to me in a way. You have those times where you're like, I just have to bite my fucking teeth and get through the grind and build myself up really quick. And then I know it's time for me to relax once I met that peak, thankfully.
Everybody's different, but when I'm done, I need a break. I
think that's actually kind of beautiful.
I need to. I don't watch or listen to anything bodybuilding related for like probably a month. I need it. It's okay to because I do love bodybuilding. I like being disciplined. Like being not disciplined for a long time, I get uneasy. I feel like like I'm living life wrong. Because you need some kind of discipline. I can't. I've always been regimented. I can't just do just anything. I don't think that's healthy for me.
How'd you even get into bodybuilding?
Oh, well, originally...
You're like, it's been so long, I don't even know. Ago. It's a way of life now.
Originally, when I first like saw like somebody like muscular was my older brother. He was locked up. He was in jail. And then after he got out of jail, my dad moved him in with us. So then he would be doing little jail workouts at home, like the push-ups and burpees. And then I'm like, this guy's swole. So I started doing it with him. And that was like, he's a lot older than me. He's like 50 now. So he's my half brother on my dad's side.
Okay.
So he's probably 20, at least 20 years older than me.
He's 20 years older than you?
Maybe 18 or 20 years.
So how old were you when he was doing these like burpees and the
7, 8?
Oh shit. So you at a young age you're just like, all right, this guy seems jacked and cool. I'm gonna mimic him really quick. Yeah. And that's how it started? And you just fell in love with working out and getting jacked?
So we were talking about social stuff earlier. Now, that was like a social thing for me. Like, I at an early age, I felt like that's what a man is supposed to look like. So
Okay.
I couldn't settle for any less than that. So that would be something socially. I felt like if you're a guy, because the men around me were in very good shape. So I felt like, oh, if you were in the shape, you weren't being a man, right? So that would be something that was socially. I don't mind it. I think you should. Technically, I think every man or woman.
Well, we were
you wanna take
talking
care of your
about just
body.
like natural instincts. Natural instincts for men supposedly are supposed to be like to protect.
Yeah.
And like, how can you protect is by having muscles.
You got to be capable of protection, right? So it's like I saw somebody say that I think it was Keanu Reeves actually. They were like, well, how can you say you have to be violent or dangerous, but you're a lover? He was like, if you can't protect what you love, then you're useless. And I was like, or he said, it's not real love if you can't protect what you love. And I'm like, yes, that's the point, right?
Yeah.
You can love somebody all you want, but if you can't protect your family, then how?
Yeah, and I do
much
think
love
there's
is that?
different forms of protecting people too, but like that is
Yeah,
just your
yeah.
stereotypical one for sure. And
You
it,
can have a gun. You can have a house with security outside.
yeah.
There's other ways.
People
but,
think smart and like that's how their form of protection. And then some people, yeah, for sure.
But you should want to be. Me personally, I think men and women should be formidable because if I'm not there and you home with the kids, you got to be able to protect the kids too.
Yeah, I think too, and once back to like the whole programming thing, also like the complementary opposites. I do believe that women are perceived as more. I love how we're kind of having this conversation because I'm not a man, so I don't know what you guys have in your head. So thank you for this, by the way. I feel humbled. Love it. I feel like what I've noticed at least is like women are kind of supposed to be more like the creative thinkers when it comes to protection. Like we're the ones who are like, we know the spots to hide or like the not manipulative thing to do, but we think a lot. We're in our heads where you guys are more in your bodies and you're like, I got this. And we're like, you know what I mean? It's different forms of protection.
It's very valuable. It's like masculinity and femininity are both very valuable.
I think they complement each other so freaking well.
Perfectly.
Yeah.
But I feel like people don't like that. But like people don't like masculinity. It's like
People don't like anything where you're like, if this is how you're naturally supposed to be, a lot of times people are like, I'm going to do the opposite, which whatever. I'm definitely like that in a lot of ways too. But the more I'm from Chicago, okay? Like I grew up in a household where my dad wasn't really around either. It was my mom. And my mom was always like, be tough, be tough, be tough.
Yeah.
So for a lot of my like early 20s, I actually in my relationships played more of a masculine role sometimes even than the man. I was doing everything.
Yeah.
And now like me settling into like the softness, I've realized my relationships are getting more better, to be honest with you. The communication's better. I feel like it's flowing easier.
Yeah.
It's people are different ways for multiple different reasons. It could be because they don't have somebody else in their life to be that other side, so they have to be both.
Yeah.
You know?
And here's
there's multiple reasons.
But there's a reason why women's adrenal glands still produce testosterone. There's a reason why men's testosterone still converts into estrogen. It's not 100% either direction. So let's say I'm 80% testosterone, 20% estrogen. That's masculinity and like men are going to have a feminine side.
Just like women can have a masculine side too. Yeah.
Exactly. So I think we look at it like it all has to be all one. Like you can be my wife and you can be so loving and caring and soft when it's that time. But like I said, something happens. Let's say I get shot. Oh, somebody shoots me, and you're like, okay, where's the gun? Let me go get the gun.
Yeah.
It's okay for you to have that side as well. You know, it's just like we shouldn't be clashing.
No.
We shouldn't be clashing on masculinity or feminine energy. We should be that 20% and you're 80% perfect. My 80%, it should be, it's like, it should be perfect technically, but I feel like we're constantly battling each other's energy, you know?
We are. And I'm trying to get to like, with all these things, I'm like, well, I'm always a white person. I'm like, why are we battling? Why? What's the, like.
Now, I think that's where society comes in. Like you said, you grow up in Chicago. I'm from the Bronx. A lot of girls in the Bronx are really aggressive, masculine. I know that deep down, they almost don't want to be because you get to know them and you see like, oh, wow, she has such a soft side. Mm-hmm. But that shell is there because survival. So it's
for sure survival. And then also too, like, I don't want to once again either blame society, but when it does become more popular to be like this big independent person, then you want to idolize some of your like idols who are successful and they're preaching like independent women, whatever, like feminine man. I do get that where people are always like, oh, they seem like they have it figured out. And it might work for some people, but that doesn't mean it works for you.
Exactly.
And yeah.
And listen, human beings, any creature, any mammal, we're not independent. We're the opposite. We're all extremely interdependent.
For sure.
You don't even survive when you get dropped as a baby. If you don't have literally your family protecting and caring for you, you die. So it's like none of us are independent. Like I think people self-made. Nobody's self-made. Nobody's self-made. You needed your mom's titties until you were about 8. That's not. Nobody is self-made. We all are interdependent. We're better as a team.
For sure.
Period. We're better with somebody else, whether it's a special someone, with friends. We're always better with help. And it's hard for us it's like we want to do everything by ourselves, men and women.
I used to be that way. I'm so sick of doing everything by myself. It's so fucking difficult and it's so fucking lonely. And it's just, no.
Take the help.
But I thought I had to. That's the thing is when I was younger, since I was often alone and I couldn't rely on anybody that I was supposed to rely on for help, I felt like I needed to create that for myself. And I was like, fuck everybody else. But now I'm like, no, that moment was just meant to make me independent, but I don't have to be anymore. It's fine.
Take the help. So I think we have to learn that independence isn't a flex.
No, it's not.
Now you should be formidable if you are alone, but it doesn't mean you need to lean on it and say, I'm better alone. It's like we all have we're single, but we also have single friends, right? And, sometimes I talk to them, yeah, I'm happy. I love being single. And a month later, it's kind of like, no, I mean,
I go through the motions all the time. I'm like, life is beautiful. I can do whatever I want when I want. I don't have to check in with somebody. And then you're like sitting on the couch one day and you're like, oh, I wish somebody was here. For sure.
Well, it just has to be like it's only worth it if it's a healthy relationship. A negative relationship is only going to bring you down. Yeah. But if it's healthy, you shouldn't feel shackled. You shouldn't feel like you can't be yourself. And that's why some people feel, oh, I'm happy I'm single now, because they felt shackled, right? They couldn't be themselves. They couldn't do things they wanted to be. And I've kind of felt like that in the past, but I did it to myself. Nobody can force you to do that. Mm-hmm. You conform because you feel like you should, but nobody should. If you can't be your absolute yourself with somebody, then that's not the person you should be with.
I agree with that completely. And to wrap us up a little bit towards the end of this podcast, speaking of company, I really want to talk about this because I love seeing you guys together. You have dogs.
Yeah, I love dogs.
And you just look so happy whenever you're around them. Share with me about your animals and what they bring to your life.
I've always loved animals, but like in the household I was brought up, it wasn't like a thing. Dogs aren't I grew up Muslim. And my parents are from
really? Okay.
They're Muslims from West Africa. In Ghana, dogs are like wild animals. So it's like their relationship with dogs is very different. So they don't see dogs as like companions, or they're just like, that's an animal, right? Yeah. So I couldn't get a dog as a kid, right? And then in my previous relationship, she wasn't really a dog person. Mm-hmm. And I was gonna do it anyways, but I'm like, that's just gonna cause issues, So I didn't get my first dog until I was single, so like 3 years ago. And I've probably had 15 dogs since then.
How many do you have right now?
That are living with me, 3.
Okay, I feel like I always see you with 2, and I'm like, oh my gosh, you guys look so. Are they all the same type of dog too?
No, they're different types. Right now I have an XL bully, I have an American bulldog, and a Barbell.
Okay, it's the bulldogs I always see you with, I feel like. And I'm like, they're so cute together.
Yeah, but sometimes it's like accidental breeding. Sometimes I rescue. The XL, I paid for him though. I bought him, but I want all of them, but I can't keep all of them. So a lot of times I just find better homes for them. But they always end up in a better situation than when I got them. So that's all I need to do. I definitely spend a lot of money, but
I was gonna say, what does it bring to your life having all those animals around you?
It brings me peace.
Yeah.
It makes me happy. It's still the best part of my day, like playing with my dogs and walking them. It brings me peace. I got my first dog when I was like in a bad place mentally, mm-hmm. and it was like therapy. I hear people say that, but we don't really get it. Like I used to hear people talk about their dogs. And I'm like, I think it's all in your head. I don't think, right? Like, yeah. Oh, he's a clown. He has a sense of humor. And I'm like, Your dog doesn't have a sense of humor. It's a dog. What are you talking about? Right? Oh,
Because you didn't grow up with dogs, did you? You said.
No.
Oh yeah.
Or this dog, or he saved my life. When you see a dog in the corner like this, I'm like, you don't look like he a lifesaver to me. Like I didn't understand what they were saying, but now I get it. Obviously, after my first dog, like he gave me like a different kind of purpose, and I don't know, just caring for like a living thing, and is different. Especially, I usually get them pretty young, so I see them from when they're like a little scared puppy all the way to older. So a lot of times I rehome them by like 6 months, but just those 3 months with them, like we form a bond, you know?
Yeah.
But like I said, as long as they go into a better place, then it makes me happy. But yeah, they bring me peace, a different level of peace that I never felt.
Actually seeing you guys in like the parking garage. We live in the same building, you guys. Yeah. Seeing you guys in like the parking garage, it just brings a smile to my face, to be honest with you. Especially too, because like you're a very intimidating guy. First glances, but like the more I get to know you, the more I realize that you're just such a genuine soul too, and I can see it with those dogs. That's why I'm like, oh, like you can tell they're in good homes, and I'm happy that that kind of connection brings that type of peace to your life.
It brings me a lot of peace.
I wish more people would find certain things in their life that would bring them peace. So I'm happy you found that.
Yeah. You got to find it's not going to be dogs for everybody, I'm sure, but. You got to find something that brings you. Some people like cats. Some people it's knitting. I don't know. People
some hobby or whatnot. Yeah, definitely. Like I found so many things like traveling the world and coming out here to LA that I never even knew I needed, but I could say have genuinely changed, transformed, and saved my life.
Yeah.
So to kind of close out then too, what would be your best advice to anybody, just in general? It could be about anything, anybody. If you could say one thing to the world, what would it be?
Like just like
why not? First thing that pops in your head. If you can say anything to somebody, what would it be?
This is easier said than done, but always live life on your own terms. You know, do you know your grandparents' names?
God, if I know, my grandparents died when I was like 4 years old. They were my parents are older.
Do you know their names? First and last?
I know their last because they're my parents' last name. Oh my God. Do I have to name them right now or do I know them? I think if I thought really hard, I could.
Well, the point I'm getting at is if I say that, or if I say, do you know your great grandparents' names?
No, hell no.
Basically, not very long from now, we're all going to be dead and forgotten. Every single one of us. Every single one of us. So, damn. So these little things that we stress about and think about don't fucking matter. We'll sit there, oh my God. Oh, what? People, I have friends call me and stress about the things that you can't downplay somebody else's like stress, but if you think about how small some of the things we stress about is.
Oh, for sure.
It means nothing. But we blow it up and stress ourselves. Not too long, we're all going to be gone and completely forgotten. So whatever you're stressing about, it doesn't fucking matter. It's just not that important, right? So live life in a way that you're happy right now. Yes, you want to plan for the future, but thinking about the future all the time, that's anxiety. That's what that is. Yeah. Depression is living in the past. Living in the future is anxiety. Stop living in the future, stop living in the past. Live right now. Whatever is fulfilling you right now, regardless if it fulfills anybody else or people think it's weird, or live in the now constantly and be authentically yourself, regardless of how anybody feels about it. And you'll be a lot happier and more fulfilled doing it that way. You know?
I'm like shocked right now. That was very beautiful, very beautiful. And I love how you actually asked me about my grandparents' names, because that's just like, I'm a big person where I love when things give perspective, because it's easier to say one thing. It's another thing to kind of like feel it and do it and think about it. And that really put things into perspective for me. So thank you for that.
We're not here for, it's long, but it's short at the same time. But either way, don't stress it. It's just not that important. You know?
Wow. Well, that sounds like a beautiful note to go out on. Thank you so much for that. I really appreciate it. Thank you for being here with me. This conversation was absolutely amazing. And yeah, just thank you for being you.
I have a question.
Of course.
Have you ever interviewed your neighbor?
What do you mean my neighbor? Which neighbor?
I'm your neighbor. Is this
You
your
are my neighbor.
First time you've interviewed a neighbor?
No, you would be. I know, right? We have so many cool people in the building.
You're supposed to lie to me. It's like you're my first.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't do that. Remember? I stir the pot. I just say what's on my mind. Do you know Tyler?
I'm sure I know him. But
He just moved out like last week, actually. Tyler and Dia, little cute blonde girl. Tyler Wells. He's an influencer.
Oh yeah, they the same floor.
Yeah, same floor. Our floor is dope, dude. We've got the people on our floor.
I think we have the best floor.
I think we do.
If we had a competition, our floor, whatever competition it is, our floor is gonna win.
Oh, it definitely would. We got.
I think so, yeah.
But Tyler Wells. Shout out Tyler. Love you. He was my first neighbor on the pod. You number 2, but number 1 in my heart.
Side piece. I'm the side piece.
Oh my god!
It's not always bad being a side
I'm
piece.
so happy you still came on, though. I'm like, yes. I don't know why we didn't do this sooner. To be honest with you, shit.
Of course.
Oh my gosh! But yeah, thank you again.
Thank you for having me.
And I'll be seeing you around. We gotta drive home together right now too.
Yeah. Drop top action.
Drop top. Let's go, baby. And thank you guys so much for listening. Until next time, I love you. Boom. That's it.